Who checks? Who verifies? These are some of the areas we'll be taking a look at on the segment.
I hear depression cuts across. As much as you look younger, have you ever been depressed?
No, at all.
What do you know about it?
I just let go. It's a mental disorder, health thing, and then it's a mental disorder. It could happen to anybody. Stress, not being fulfilled, poverty.
Okay.
Part of it.
Depression, how do you walk away from it, is our focus on discussion segment on Insight. Don't stray steps away. Up next on Insight is the discussion segment. Whenever something wants to happen, two things play out. Either you're anxious, anxiety, you're depressed, frustrated. Now that schools are reopening, the issue of school fees, how do we meet up, who pays what, how much, how do we get the money? On this segment today, we're looking at the unusual today. We do the hard side, but today we're looking at the unusual, but it's a very serious issue, depression. How do we walk away from it? This is the simplest story of the depression mode ongoing in several lives. This is literature. They wonder how things begin with just an unpleasant mode and before too long become an experience of low energy, emotional downturn, mood disorders, low excitements, altering actions and coloring the mind with unpleasant, pulsating thoughts and feelings of failure, hate, disappointment, and inadequacies. Vice versa, a boss, a head of department, a Mrs. Behavioral Therapist. Good to have you on Insight.
An overflow, isn't it? That's how depression is. It comes in trickles, and before you know it, it will take you over. But the receptive cluster, that's the second cluster of depression management outcome. The individual is open. Accessible and approachable
to depression.
To depression. You know, it's like you are inviting a visitor in, and you are smiling at it. You are even welcoming it.
Okay.
When you welcome it, what happens? You become friends with that person, isn't it? Before the person knows what is happening, it's like when you are dangling a carrot, and the person looks at it and collects it. What happens? You begin to eat it.
Okay, today's insight is really going to be very, I'm sure a lot of guests will be imagining today.
We have biometrics to check
textbooks, all that. So let me go to James now.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you say how depression lobbies its victims, how do you mean?
Wow. Depression seeks for a marriage of convenience. And you know, in marriage of convenience, you are looking for what is yours, I'm looking for what is mine. And we feel marriage will be a grant to getting our various ends. Not necessarily because we want to get married in the right sense of it. That is how depression works, clinical depression. There are some certain depression that happen based on ecology, family, history, and all of that. That's not the one we are talking about. But depression out of stress, one breaking his own behavioral bounds and protocol, seeks for marriage of convenience and goes through the process of lobbying, trying to convince you with facts and figures around your life why you have to be depressed. And by the time you begin to buy into such feelings, emotions, and thoughts that things are not working well, oh, Nigeria is bad, we have bad leadership, and you begin to allude by the reason of what is happening around you, then that is lobby from depression. And once it sinks into you, your emotion becomes dull. That's why, you see, on the surface, you could still be smiling, but inside, once it begins to afflict your passion, and your emotion, and you are beginning to sense some level of dullness, that is a potential depression, looking for a trigger, either within or external, in order to strike. So many people are walking about in the workplace, at homes, private and corporate organizations, who already have contamination from seeds of depression. Once there is that dull moment inside you, when you think about issues and you cannot help it, it stays there. You could still smile on the outside. So depression seeks a marriage of convenience, and he wants to lobby you, convince you, giving reasonable and unreasonable doubt why you should just be a friend.
Okay.
That's why the level of permission determines the degree of culpability
Yes.
or vulnerability.
Okay, let me come
Permit
to
it comes to you.
Let me come to Foyeke now. It means nobody stands aloof when it comes to depression, right?
No.
We fall into it
We are all
every now and
targets.
They
then.
are all targets.
Okay, beautiful. Now, in case Nigerians out there, we have a lot who may not even know that they're depressed. Because these days, somebody goes to sleep and never wakes up. Somebody sits down, they rush him to the hospital or dies.
Yes.
What way forward? Let me start with you before I go to James.
Okay. The moment you see that you are no longer in control of your thoughts are now controlling you negatively. You begin to, your self-worth is being eroded. Within you, when you are depressed, there is a vacuum. You will feel it. You know that this is not the real me. The problem that we have is that we don't want another person to know what is going on in your mind. But the moment you allow people to know, they will come to your aid. Especially if behavioral therapist is a new wave.
Yeah.
And if you are able to know, that's why we are coming on air, so that people will know that there's a place called Saba Resources. It won't take you anything. Just avail yourself, no matter your age.
Americans are constantly accusing Russia of having influenced the elections in a negative way. And so attacks come from different countries based on sometimes economic, sometimes political, sometimes out of sheer malice. So those are the gains. If your country is attacked in some way where intelligence is gotten, maybe critical intelligence or your data is stolen. And used for the reverse, will definitely want to carry out cyber attack.
Position of strength, as much
So now, I don't think there's any law at the moment, for now, guiding those excesses that comes along with all this proliferation of some of the videos or information online. You understand? So, but I think the NCC are now beginning to and the National Assemblies and all that are now beginning to make law that can be able to curtail and see how they can be able to nip some of these fake news and all that in the bud and see how best they can be able to handle it.
Okay, now you talked about MCC and then we have NBC doing their thing. You own a media outfit for FCT magazine. How do you regulate what goes on your magazine? Who checks? Who verifies? So that brings me to the issue of regulation.
Yeah.
Are key players in the media?
You just see it.
stand up. Nigeria, change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. So let it